which means that the ability for a health potion to heal the Warlock in this case has been completely negated. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Onepeg. There is a video that got released by the devs of Dark and Darker, Ironmace Games, showcasing the Warlock. And while I made kind of like an early impressions video, I didn't quite understand all the mechanics of what it was that I was seeing. So I wanted to make sure that we went through this at least a little bit. First and foremost, it seems as though the Warlock is mainly about vampirism. It seems as though the Warlock, when they lose HP, they have a lot of repairable health. They have a large repairable health pool. And they also deal with damage dealing for HP either to themselves or like life leech for their abilities against other people. So at the very bottom here, there's one quick tooltip or one quick perk that is shown called Torture Mastery. It seems as though the Warlock doesn't have a number of memorized spells. Once they're memorized, the Warlock just gets to use them as many times as they want, but the cost is in hit points to cast it. So the Warlock uses 3 HP in order to cast any of these spells that are shown here. The first one being Curse of Weaken, which is weakening the target, reduces their base stats by 20%. These again were things that I missed, and I apologize for missing them. I'm not sure, little brain bleed or whatever. I apologize, everybody. I try to catch everything, but, I'm only human. Second is Curse of Pain. Instantly deals 10 magic damage to the target and curses them with Agony. Agony says receive a total of 10 magic damage distributed over 8 seconds. So over the next 8 seconds, they take a small, slow dot. If you curse somebody with Curse of Pain or Curse of Weakness, it appears that the Torture Mastery ability ends up giving you a little bit of HP regen as a result of hitting them. But we don't know exactly what the tooltip says, because even though I tried looking through and combing the video, I don't think I ever saw a moment where that actually happened. The last is Power of Sacrifice, which curses the target with Sacrifice, losing 2 health per second, but increases their strength by 15. So you could use this as either an offensive or a defensive ability, meaning that you could buff yourself with it, or you could use it as a 2 HP per second dot against someone else. It also doesn't say how long it lasts, but it appeared that it lasted maybe around 10 seconds, I want to say. So it lasts from the 26-second mark, 38-second mark. So this lasted for 12 seconds. So that's how long the buff lasts for, the debuff lasts for. So if you dotted somebody, the base damage would be 2 damage per second for 12 seconds or 24 damage. Not insubstantial. If you were to stack these dots between Curse of Agony and this, they would lose a pretty significant amount of hit points. Considering that something like a wizard, when they first start out, they have about a 100 HP pool. I think they have, what, 96 HP? That's, you're talking a third, 40% of their HP pool or more. Not bad when you're talking stacking dots over a 12-second period. You could kind of fire and forget. So they do have some pretty significant dot damage that they do. And for those of you that want to see the base stats for the Warlock, this is what they calculate out to be. And this was written by Pidgeot of the 9th, by the way, so props to them. More will is less debuff time. So just so that everybody understands, will, when you stack will on any casting character, any character really, it increases buff duration but decreases debuff duration. And since Warlocks cast curses, which are all debuffs, even if they're on yourself or on anybody else, a Warlock stacking will means that those debuffs that you're casting on yourself, the ones that cause dot damage and whatnot, they have shorter durations. It appears that if you're going to stack will on something like a Warlock, you would probably use most all of the curses as offensively as possible and put them on other people as opposed to your own teammates, unless you're doing it to like maybe a melee class or something like that. However, of course, you could offset this by using debuff duration gear, which would increase debuff duration. So it kind of depends. You're going to have to weigh the pros and cons. That's kind of like the nature of the Warlock after all, right? But the most interesting thing that I think I found throughout all of this is this piece right here. If you notice, he imbibes a health potion that was given to him by one of his teammates, but there isn't any HP regen going on at all. If you notice, it shows that he has the perk, but there's no regeneration of health. There's no like buff timer that you normally see from drinking a health potion, which means that the ability for a health potion to heal the Warlock in this case has been completely negated. Another thing that's incredibly interesting that I missed is this. They get done killing the Wraith and he goes to hit himself with a bandage, and the bandage does absolutely nothing either. no healing. So it appears as though he has no ability to do any external healing at all. I think the reason why is from Torture Mastery, because Torture Mastery, I believe Torture Mastery is negating any outside source of healing. I believe that it's only on the leech that he's able to do from the curses and spells that he's casting on others. Also, regarding Torture Mastery, I think the way that Torture Mastery works on the HP replenishment is based on a percentage of the damage that's being done to your target. So like all other things in Dark and Darker, this has amazing scaling potential, and if you were able to curse a target, it's very possible that you could end up being a melee fighter style of Warlock, where if you were able to stack up the dots enough on your target, you could end up then going right in with a sword and seeing if you could melee them down while they're being cursed and regenerating your hit points as you're fighting them. Pretty cool idea conceptually. And last but certainly not least, we also have this occultist garb. So that is the armor that the Warlock wears, at least in this case, the Warlock specific armor that we have, or at least one of the sets is called occultist. So there you go. And if you're buffing something like a wizard with a bunch of strength, it's not going to do a whole hell of a lot. Or conversely, if you had somebody that had a lot of magic resistance, like a barbarian, you could end up buffing their strength with the sacrifice kind of being that they're going to end up taking some dot damage, but they're going to do a bunch of damage in return. It might be a good trade-off. I kind of like the dynamic of the class a considerable amount. They're pretty good. Warlocks cost HP, but they have the ability to regenerate HP based on damage done from certain curses through this Torture Mastery perk that they're using. Kind of cool. I really, really dig it. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for this one. Thanks so much for coming and checking it out. I really do appreciate that you guys are here. Thanks so much. Consider subbing the channel if you would be so kind, and if not, I understand. No big deal. Meanwhile, you can always come by and check me out and come say hi when I'm live in real time at twitch.tv/onepeg. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.